Hey y'all, what's good, what's poppin', what's happening, how y'all doing? If you're new, my name is Joy. If you're returning, you already know it is. Thank you for rocking with your girl. And as you can see by the title, I quit my job. I quit my job. I quit my 9 to 5. I quit the job that's been paying my bills for the past year. I quit a stressful, negative environment. I quit working to make somebody else rich. I quit not pouring into myself and pouring into others. I'm done. I quit. It's over with. Okay. I already had a feeling that I was gonna make this video. I just didn't know when. I also didn't expect it to happen the way that it did and how it did. So we're just gonna get right into it. Bear with me if I'm talking funny. I have my tongue pierced. So just straight in, my background experience. I went to dental school in 2019 and I graduated during the pandemic in 2020. Fresh out of the program, I started at a general / surgery office in California. Excuse me. I worked there for a full year and then I decided that I wanted to move to Atlanta, Georgia. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, worked at a general / surgery office, mostly just general, and I only stayed there for about 2 to 3 months and I ended up moving back to California. When I moved back, I started at a pediatric / orthodontic office, and I stayed there for about a year. And then I left there and I currently now live in Florida, where I have been working at a orthodontic office that I just recently quit. So that's just my background, a little bit about me. I knew that I wanted to be in the medical field, but I didn't really know, like, I wasn't for sure. So when I first started, I was like, I kind of just want to get my foot in the door. I didn't want to put too much time and effort into schooling for more than a year, just in case I didn't like it. So I did the dental program. I loved x-rays and I was like, oh, that may be something that I could pursue. Ultrasound or sonography or like radiology. Those were like my 3 choices. This was kind of just get my foot in the door or like test the waters before I fully dive into radiology or sonography. Now, my first office, general / surgery, I did feel like I went through like a hazing period, where the doctor, she kind of just expected me to know stuff and I didn't know because I didn't have any experience. This was my first real experience. And I often think that people forget that they have to train you. I think people forget or don't realize that even though you went to school for something, you still need some sort of training, background information, and especially working with doctors. Every doctor works differently. They like different things. And working with a doctor, you are their co-pilot. You are there to assist them, to almost even think of what they need before they even need it. And there are doctors, and this is another thing, all doctors are not great teachers, and I don't know if they don't think or feel the need to teach you. They just kind of expect you to know, but I also think that goes along with other jobs and other fields as well. But my first doctor, I worked for a female doctor. I will say that her personal life, her outside life did affect her energy and her mood when she came to work. Over time, she did, delegate and give out more duties to take some load off of her. However, you know, being a doctor, having a family, kids, life in general can be stressful. Now, my second office, I worked at an orthodontic. I'm not including my Atlanta experience in this because I was there for a short period of time. However, the doctor that I did work for there, she ended up having to take a leave because her mental health was not well. So my office in California where I did ortho and pediatric, it was a great office. The environment was great. It was positive. There was a lot of communication, a lot of training, a lot of making sure we understood what we were doing, why we were doing it. I would say the only downside to that office is like just we weren't sure if and or when we would get paid again, just because of the payroll system and them trying to have a good payroll or payday system that worked for the doctor and whatever. So that office was great. I had a really great experience there. He cared about us as staff members, and it was a very open, comfortable, safe, fun, happy environment. You know, we did try to implement some changes or things that we felt could benefit the office or all of us all together. And there are some doctors that do have a superiority complex where they don't really want to do it, or it doesn't sound like a great idea until someone else says it or it's brought up on multiple occasions. My experience in California, Georgia, and Florida are all very similar and different at the same time. I will say that they are similar in terms of like pay and duties. The only difference is the type of people and the environments that I have been in. I will say California and Georgia seem a little bit more open, a little bit more room or leeway in terms of like patience and communication. Just very subtle things that I guess could make an office. My experiences in Florida have not been great, to say the least. The first dentist office I worked at here, they didn't do much braces. They mostly did Invisalign, and he was Muslim. I have never worked or have been around a lot of Muslim people, so I wasn't aware about them being superior, or I'm not quite sure how to word it, but I wasn't aware that I wasn't allowed to ask questions or question his thinking or why he does what he does or his working. And to me, I'm just asking because I don't know, because I just met you, and to him it's like you're challenging me, and I don't think of it that way, and I didn't see it that way. But as somebody that just met you and is new here, I had thought that that's what you are supposed to do, is ask questions if you don't know. But apparently people don't want you to do that. And at my most recent office, he did not like change. He did not want things to change. And because it seems to be working, why fix something that's not broken? And that was just very evident in the office and in the past year that I've worked there. And just poor communication, no communication at all, really. So each state has been pretty similar in terms of the duties and in terms of the pay. Taxes are the only thing that really made a difference. Let's start with this past year. I quit my job because it wasn't a very pleasant environment to work in. It was, I don't want to bash the doctor in any way. I have no personal opinion towards him or anything at all. I will start by saying that when I got hired, the 2 girls that trained me before they left did disclose to me why they left and their reasonings. And I did see some red flags when I got started. I will say that I've never worked at an office where the wife was involved as much as I have at this office. The wife has no dental experience, no front office experience, and has no clue how to help. And she does what she can with what she knows how to do. If she is upset or doesn't know how to do something, she's generally frustrated and yelling, and I don't like to work in environments where I'm being yelled at. My mother does not yell at me. I'm not gonna allow you as an adult to yell at me. Some other red flags at the job is that when he's with the patient, and his phone rings, he just gets up and walks away and answers the phone, and he will not say, excuse me, I'm gonna take this, or, you know, hey, I have to take this phone call. And I just think that as a courtesy, as a respect for your patients, as a respect just as a human being, hey, I'm gonna take this phone call really quick, just as a courtesy. And to him, he did not owe them that courtesy. I did bring it up at 2 meetings or 3 meetings, and that his reasoning is that he's a doctor and he gets to answer the phone. I didn't say that he didn't. I just think that you should say, excuse me. There was very little to no communication at this office unless we asked for a meeting so that things could run smoothly and be more clear. Other than that, there was no communication. Everything that me and my coworker know how to do, we taught ourselves. We were not trained at this office, and we did our best to implement different things, different changes, different ways to help benefit the office and the patients and the practice. But I do have to say that this past year has been the worst dentist office I've ever worked in my life. And there were so many red flags from the time I started until the day that I quit. The reason for me quitting, I had expressed to this doctor that, you know, I'm just trying to do my job better. I'm trying to understand how we can keep things afloat. How can we communicate better so that we know what he needs, or whatever the case may be. And I also did express to him that there were some patients that let us know that they felt that he was racist because he would pass them up, he would not say hi. You know, they would be sitting there for 15, 30 minutes, 45 minutes without being acknowledged or seen. And he accused me of calling him a racist, and I didn't call him a racist. I said that a patient felt that way. And his response to me was that he doesn't discriminate against bald people, and he's not racist. He said, how could he be racist? And he hired us. Me and my coworker are both black. The girl at the front is Latin. And the moral of my point was to just be respectful of the patient's time and their day and be considerate of them, and just to communicate. That is all that I asked for. I said, I just want you to communicate. I just want you to tell me what you need, what I can help you with, so that we can keep things afloat, so that they can run smoothly, so that people aren't sitting in your office for 45 minutes to 3.5 hours plus, because that has happened on multiple occasions. He disagrees that doesn't happen, and it's never happened. And I kept a record of when it happened and how often it happened, and they told me that wasn't true. I worked with this man Monday through Thursday from 7:30 to 5:30 for a full year, and he's telling me that all the information that I have gathered is not true, that I am making this up, as well as his wife. I still reiterated that I was simply just asking for communication, and I just think that he should be considerate and respectful of our time and the patient's time. He said that he didn't have to. If they didn't want to be here, they didn't have to come. They can find a new doctor, they can find a new office, and he doesn't care. And I said, okay, thank you for your time. Because if you don't care about these people that are paying you, you also don't care about me, which is what he said. He didn't care about my time. He didn't care that I had places to go, things to do after, that I was not revolving my world around him and his time in his office. And throughout the meeting, his wife was saying that it wasn't going to work. It's not working. And I did let her know that she could fire me. And based off of him saying that he did not care about his patients and their time, and he didn't need to be respectful of them or my time, I said thank you for your time, and I will be there on Wednesday to pick up my check. I had already planned on leaving. I did decide to change my password to log into the computer as last day 11/16, and I was leaving on my time. But I have never worked at an office like this before. I have never felt so uncomfortable and unappreciative, not valued, not respected. And there were a lot of separate instances where he had let me know that he did not care about his patients or us as employees that work there. I will say that his wife is about 65, 60 and up, and he's roughly in his 60s or 70s. And this was just my time to go. I am a very hard worker, and being somewhere that I have to give myself a pep talk or force myself to be here, where it feels like a drag or whatever the case may be, I knew that it was my time to go. So I ended up quitting on my day off. And it's probably the best thing that I've ever done. I was grateful for the opportunity. Obviously moving to a new state by myself. But, you know, things happen for a reason, and that's that. I will not be returning to the dental field after this, unless I will be working maybe in the front or only doing sterile or only doing x-rays. 9 times out of 10 people are scared of the dentist, and I completely understand why. And as a dental assistant, I want to make sure my patients feel comfortable and seen and heard and cared for, and that's what I was taught, is to advocate for my patients. And that was not allowed at my most recent office. I believe that, you know, as a black dental assistant, and just being black, we do get treated differently. My coworkers noticed that I was like being picked on. I was being kind of, I guess I was overly watched, or like I stood out more than other dental assistants. And you know, I'm a regular person doing my job and putting forth the effort, because this was, you know, my career at one point. But you know, everything happens for a reason. I have new goals and a new mindset, and had I took the advice or took the information from the videos I had seen prior, I would not have become a dental assistant. I watched multiple videos as to why not to be a dental assistant before I started, and I still became one. I still allowed myself to have my own experience, and I'm grateful for the 3.5, almost 4 years of experience that I have. And now it's time to move on to something new, something better, something different, something that fulfills me, that allows me to use my creativity, that allows me to be myself. And that's what I'm going to be working towards. So to anybody that's seeing this that is becoming a dental assistant or already is a dental assistant, feel free to leave your experiences down below. I also have talked about this on my TikTok page at joigasm or Joy Simone. And let me know your experiences, if I'm crazy, if you know, I should have stuck it out, or you know, I did the right thing, or if you are transitioning into something different, what are you going to be doing? So yeah, this is my last hurrah as a dental assistant, and I had a great experience. I enjoyed the time while it lasted, and I'm grateful for the opportunities that I've had and the doctors that I've worked for. I met some really amazing doctors, and I've only met a few, you know, shitty ones. But you live and you learn. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see y'all in the next video. As always, you are beautiful just as you are.